Okay, emergency press conference. Ripple is undermining American prosperity and freedom.
And the biggest obstacle for the strategic Bitcoin reserve is not the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, banks, or Elizabeth Warren. It's Ripple XRP, according to Bitcoin Pierre. But is that actually true? Is Ripple undermining the strategic Bitcoin reserve plans? Here's exactly what's going on. In this video, we have to discuss what Jack Mallers posted saying Ripple is actively lobbying to stop a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the US. So today we're going to break down if that's true or if he's just throwing shade in order to fuel his net worth in order to grow his Bitcoin company, and also what Brad Garlinghouse's stance is on Bitcoin and a strategic reserve, on top of what's happening with major banks like Barclays, SBI, the National Bank of Abu Dhabi, Citibank, along with where Bitcoin is in this market cycle compared to the last two cycles and what effect this will have, with Circle minting more USDC, Telegram allowing you to buy USDT with zero fees. Everyone wants to know, how will this affect the crypto market? So not only Bitcoin, but XRP and the rest of the altcoin market, plus a major announcement from the Federal Reserve that directly affects Ripple's XRP that you do not want to miss. So comment 777 if you guys are feeling blessed. If you're feeling bullish, let's run it.
I can confirm Ripple is actively spending millions of dollars trying to undermine a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States of America.
All right, bull runners, welcome back to today's episode of Mudslinging Hobbits. I mean, this is uncanny. If you just put Bilbo Baggins right up to Jack Mallers, it's identical. So is Ripple and XRP smog that Bitcoiners are on a mission to destroy? Or is what Ripple and XRP doing good for the industry? Because we see posts like this from people that are just big mad. Vivek right here is saying, like, if you want XRP to go to zero, let's bankrupt them. And slinging mud by saying things like Ripple is aggressively lobbying against the strategic Bitcoin reserve by throwing around millions at politicians desperately trying to derail it, saying they want to protect their marketing narratives and push for CBDCs built on their platform. Now,
Ripple is a for-profit company. It prints its own token in XRP.
I will correct one thing right out of the gates. Ripple did not actually issue XRP. The XRP ledger is an open source, decentralized technology, not dissimilar than Bitcoin. And some of the creators of the XRP ledger actually had been early engineers that worked on Bitcoin. And they saw some of the scalability problems that Bitcoin was likely to have, the speed, both from an energy consumption, cost, some of the other problems. And they wanted to build a better digital asset to solve some of these problems.
And it is asking the US government to support its monopoly. I ask you this, why should the US government back a privately owned currency? This is corporate lobbying disguised as innovation. Ripple created all of its currency, issued it to themselves, and relies on the public to buy it.
Ripple did not actually issue XRP.
It is absurd and ridiculous, and Ripple needs to stand down immediately. Not only are they undermining future prosperity in the United States, benefiting from the technological innovation that is Bitcoin, but they are also trying to take advantage of the situation and benefit themselves. This is not just an attack on Bitcoin, but on principles of transparency, on fairness, and on our national security.
I'll talk my own book a little bit here because Ripple is using digital assets to solve a cross-border payments problem. Some people, I'm sure listening, have had this experience, and maybe some of us have had the experience. If you're sending money across oceans, across networks, it ends up being really slow and really expensive. So what we do is we sell technologies to banks that allow them to connect what we call RippleNet. And that allows them to do cross-border payments in real time, effectively real time, at very, very inexpensive fees. So
principles of transparency, on fairness.
Another important piece is it's transparent. I mean, one of the humorous, frustrating things that we may have experienced, if you're sending a wire cross-border and you call your bank and Joe Bankman says, hey, Brad was sending me money, it hasn't arrived. Your bank doesn't know where it sits, because the nature of how this works, it kind of hops through different hops. We had one of the largest banks in Australia, the CEO told me that 40% of all of their consumer wire transfers result in a customer service phone call. And the reason is they wait a few days and they say, hey, Joe hasn't received the wire, where is it? The frustrating thing for the bank is not only do they have to absorb the cost of taking a customer service phone call, they also deliver the news that they don't know. Wait a couple more days, it'll probably be there. That's a pretty bad experience. And that truly is our global financial ecosystem is built on the rails that I'm describing that were built 40 or 50 years ago and haven't advanced. Blockchain technologies can fundamentally re-engineer and kind of rewire that base layer to dramatically accelerate and reduce the cost associated with these payments.
So now that we're seeing Donald Trump shift from saying a strategic Bitcoin stockpile, we're now seeing him talk more about digital asset stockpile. It took only a few hours for the diehard Bitcoiners to call foul and to point the finger at Ripple because the CEO Brad Garlinghouse, people like Stuart Alderati, meeting with tons of political figures in DC to establish clear, constructive, and pro-innovation regulatory frameworks for the crypto market. So everyone knows that Brad's goal has been to get clear regulation, especially since the SEC has sued them and been attacking them for the past 4+ years. And now that we have massive exchanges filing for XRP ETFs, with 5 different firms filing for XRP related ETPs in the US in the month of January alone, we see the largest companies like Grayscale diving on board to benefit from XRP's growth. So why would Bitcoin Baggins draw his sword and declare war on Ripple XRP? Well, one of the main reasons that he just said is Ripple spending millions of dollars. In fact, they spent $300 million in their super PAC strategy last year to ensure XRP's enduring relevance in Washington. So if someone had successfully lobbied Trump's team to remove the word Bitcoin from his crypto executive order, these Bitcoiners wailed it had to have been Ripple. On top of that, Bitcoin whales pride themselves that they don't even know who created Bitcoin.
But on principles of transparency,
where Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared years ago without a trace. Now, certain critics would argue that companies like Blockstream hold outsized influence over Bitcoin's network development and the asset's trajectory, along with massive companies like BlackRock diving in. So here's my take on what Jack has to say. I think he's very intelligent, but I also know that he owns Strike, and that's where he generates the majority of his revenue because that company's valued at $300 million roughly in 2022. It's probably valued at more now. And he founded Zap in 2017, which is a Bitcoin investment and payments company. And on their website right here, it's just all about Bitcoin. It doesn't talk about altcoins or doesn't talk about anything else. So of course, he will do everything in his power he can do to preserve his net worth. It's common sense. Now, if he didn't have a Bitcoin company and he was saying this type of stuff, then it would hold more weight. But because he needs customers and clients to go to his website and purchase Bitcoin that he grows his income from, it's in his best interest to talk negatively about other projects and other superior technology, even if he's wrong. For example, Peter Schiff, he's known as a gold bull. He has a gold company. And Peter is saying, so the money of the people needs a government bailout. The government wasting taxpayer money to buy Bitcoin only benefits Bitcoin owners who sell their tokens to the government at the expense of everyone else. It's an inflationary policy that will lower living standards. So Peter owns SchiffGold.com and he is a gold salesman. So this is why I'm very aware of narratives that people have to sell their product or their service. So everyone has an opinion, but what we cover here on this channel are the facts. So let's listen to the facts of what Brad Garlinghouse said about a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
You know, if, for example, there's some talk about a crypto reserve, you know, I think that would end up including Bitcoin and other technologies, which, you know, frankly, just makes sense from a diversification point of view. And so I'm very optimistic that it is a new dawn for the crypto industry in the United States.
Now that right there was all I needed to hear, the word and.
Including Bitcoin and other technologies, which, you know, frankly, just makes sense from a diversification point of view.
Because in one of my previous videos, I mentioned this book called The Science of Getting Rich, and it talks about the competitive versus the collaborative plane and how the energy of Earth is shifting and how the consciousness of our species is actually evolving. And that's why we went from the Industrial Revolution to the Technology Revolution. Now technology is expanding to artificial intelligence, Web 3, blockchain, from Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. And success in the future is based on collaboration, not competition. Competition actually made more sense during the Industrial Revolution because if you had a monopoly over the railways or a monopoly over electricity and you burnt down Tesla's lab, for example, to get a monopoly over the whole entire market share, specifically through oil and gas as well too, well then you could dominate. But now these days, the company with the most utility and the best product long term that collaborates with other companies and other products that can work synergistically in the future of the Web3 blockchain technology revolution are the ones that are going to be superior. So for the people that say Bitcoin's better than XRP or XRP is better than Bitcoin, even that argument in and of itself is hilarious, because that's like saying buying a home is better than buying a jet. They're two different things completely, because Bitcoin is like a store of value. XRP is used for payments because it's faster and it's cheaper than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's too slow to do that. So they have different purposes. You're not going to use a home to fly across the country. And so I thought this was interesting right here about this document from Mike Hearn back in 2009 to Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. In the early conversation with Mike Hearn, he says, "Hi Satoshi, I read your paper on Bitcoin with great interest. I found it a bit confusing though. I believe it may be easier to follow if you provide some examples. So many questions, but it's rare that I encounter truly revolutionary ideas. The last time I was this excited about a new monetary scheme was when I discovered Ripple. If you have any thoughts on Ripple, I'd also love to hear them." And then Satoshi said, "Ripple is interesting in that it's the only other system that does something with trust besides concentrate it into a central server." So Jack getting defensive is actually a great sign for XRP holders, because Brad Garlinghouse's response was way better, because it's about diversification. The smartest investors in the world will tell you the same thing. This is why we see massive companies like $1.6 trillion bank Barclays purchasing $131 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs. So imagine the demand for XRP and Solana once live in the USA and approved. And Yoshitaka Kitao, the CEO of SBI Holdings over in Japan, said back in 2019 that Ripple, Barclays, and MasterCard invested over $1.7 million to a new remittance startup using XRP. And for those of you that are saying that's old news, well, January 31st, 2025, just 2 weeks ago, SBI Holdings posted this on their website saying, SBI Remit, an international money transfer service provider, and SBI Shinsei Bank have entered into an agreement regarding customer referrals and have decided to start providing the service from today to incorporate the latest financial technologies, such as Ripple's distributed ledger technology in the US, to develop secure, inexpensive, and fast overseas remittance services. Also, he posted this today saying Ondo Finance brings 24/7 access to tokenized US treasuries on the XRP ledger. So I'm super bullish on Ondo as well too, because they are a leading tokenized real world asset issuer. And through this collaboration, institutional investors will gain access to Ondo's short-term US government treasuries backed by the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, which I know seems complicated, but it can be instantaneously minted and redeemed 24/7 using Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD. So when you have the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, saying things like this.
I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was the conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everybody adopted that conversation, but it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 per Bitcoin.
So sovereign wealth funds, countries, governments, companies buying Bitcoin is great for XRP. Everyone wants Bitcoin's price to go up. The only problem is Bitcoin bulls only want Bitcoin to go up. Not all of them. There are some good Bitcoin bulls out there that do want other projects and other companies to succeed because they're in the collaborative frequency. But those that aren't are living in the old world. They're going to get left behind. This is why Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund bought 436 million of Bitcoin ETFs in Q1 via BlackRock. Also, National Bank of Abu Dhabi was the first Middle East bank to use Ripple for cross-border payments. So, diversification. Jack should take some notes here on what companies that are much wealthier than his company are doing. The UAE is wired up with XRP. For example, the Dubai Financial Services Authority approved XRP under its virtual asset regime, allowing licensed firms in the Dubai International Finance Center to incorporate XRP into their virtual asset services. Why would they do that if they weren't planning on using XRP? So for people saying that Ripple doesn't need XRP, well, $6 trillion State Street and Citibank are to launch a Bitcoin and crypto custody solution. So banks are coming in full force to custody crypto. Oh, by the way, Citi is a Ripple custody partner as well too. Look at what the global head of security services over at Citi said. We are witnessing the increased digitization of traditional investment assets along with new native digital assets. We are innovating and developing new capabilities to support digital asset classes that are becoming increasingly relevant to our clients. This is posted on Medico's website. So Citi is continuing to develop digital asset solutions using a unified set of shared technology capabilities and common strategic approach, collaboration. So they're collaborating with other companies like Wellington Management, Wisdom Tree to explore tokenization of private markets. So just going back to Jack's company, Strike, and the fact that it only has Bitcoin here shows that it's no wonder why they're only valued at $300 million when other companies like SBI Holdings has a market cap of $1.3 trillion. I mean, come on, guys. The CEO, Yoshitaka Kitao, probably has the entire net worth of Strike in a checking account somewhere. So who do you listen to? I'm listening to the absolute GOAT right here, who's over 70 years old, who has more life experience. And also, he's reposting from his whole gang here talking about XRP ETFs. He's been bull posting, sharing Ripple's posts for years. And he went viral for saying every bank in Japan will use XRP by 2025. Well, it's 2025 and we're only in month 2.
I expect the price could soar significantly. As major external shareholders, we would see substantial capital gains if the value increases. But even without selling, the valuation itself would be considerable. I'm optimistic that the outcome will be favorable soon.
Plus, Receipts Depository Corp, a startup funded by a group of former Citigroup executives, is planning to launch XRP-backed securities. So if you have a friend that only holds Bitcoin and doesn't hold any XRP, share this video with them. Now, I'm not making this video to get you to buy XRP. I don't care. Whether you hold XRP or not does not affect the future of my life. I make these videos to share with you guys the facts, the information, so you can come to your own conclusion, because I don't provide financial advice. These videos are purely for education, informational purposes only to help you do your own research. But look what Benjamin Cowan posted. Bitcoin market cycle ROI compared to the last 2 cycles. So if I zoom in here, market cycle 3, in orange, which was the 2017 cycle, market cycle 4, which was the previous one, 2021, and market cycle 5 in pink. So as you can see right here on the screen, we're lagging behind the last 2 bull run cycles. So is now too late to get in the crypto market, or is it the perfect time before the next leg up? Bullish news just hit with Circle minting another 108 million USDC. And also, Telegram wallets now let you buy USDT with 0 fees. So entering crypto just got even easier. On-ramping is a massive key to bringing in regular retail investors. And if we look at the market cap of USDT compared to the Bitcoin price chart and what happened last time, on the 1st of December of 2020 on the monthly candles to the 1st of January, when Bitcoin broke upwards of 19K to about $30,000, we saw USDT's market cap go from $20 billion all the way up here, even by that first peak of the market on the 1st of April, to $50 billion. And then it continued to rise all the way until basically everything fell off a shelf by the 1st of April right here on the bottom of the screen. So USDT's market cap going up, them minting more stable coins, directly affects the crypto market. Now, some people could argue that that's bad and that Bitcoin is propped up off of USDT and USDT's collapse is going to bring down the whole market. And I would say, yes, that's probably true, but I don't think that's coming until the bear market. So we'll deal with that a little bit later. And I'll be sharing with you guys when I plan on exiting the market inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below if you want to check that out. But check this out right here at the bottom of the screen. On the 1st of November until December, we saw Bitcoin go from 68K all the way up towards of $90,000 on this massive bullish monthly candle right here to clear the previous high. It's the exact same thing that we saw back here. Now, obviously, this cycle is looking a little bit different, but if we were to measure roughly 335 days, 334 days, whatever you want to mark it at, where the market's topped out after Bitcoin passed the high, where would that put us? Well, that would put us into October of 2025. Now, if we were to measure from the breakout period in the 1st of December to the first peak, 121 days, and we see where that would put us from this breakout about 120 days in, that's the 1st of March. So we really have 2 weeks. The countdown clock is ticking to see if all of this bullish news of all these companies diving full-fledged to buy up more Bitcoin is a smart move and it's going to send Bitcoin higher, or if it's the stupidest move in history and they are literally buying the top. I think they know that 100K for Bitcoin is not where we're stopping at. They believe we're going higher. That's why they're buying more. Now, over the past 7 days, we see XRP up 14%, Bitcoin's up 1%, BNB's up 13%. The rest of the market is doing pretty well. SUI's up 20%. And we have some massive news coming on the 14th of July. So in one of my previous videos, I talked about March 10th, where the Fedwire Fund Service for ISO 222 implementation was going to take place on a single day, March 10th. Well, now they have rescheduled to July 14th for the Fedwire Fund Service. Now, the reason why this is a big deal for Ripple and XRP is because XRP is ISO compliant to communicate properly with the new messaging standard between banks, because they're going to sunset the old Fedwire interface manual FAIM format and replace it all with the ISO 222 messaging. This essentially just means that payments across banks globally and internationally are going to be faster than 3 to 5 days. And so this takes time to do. So the real question is, why did they reschedule it? And also, this post right here saying, so it begins, with the same day on this heart right here, the 14th. So also today, the 14th, the SEC may acknowledge Grayscale's XRP ETF filing. And Brad Garlinghouse right here pointed out that more than once this was inevitable. So is this talking about today, or is it talking about ISO 222 implementation rescheduled to July 14th? So what is it about the 14th? Because the Bearable guy predicted a major shift in XRP a few years ago and posted, so it begins, with the 14 in a heart. So today's Valentine's Day, the SEC acknowledging the first XRP ETF. Is this a coincidence? Also, him posting this 6 years ago saying, in the crypto sphere will shake, accompanied by great gnashing of the teeth as they look to the heavens and scream, and how can this be? Interesting how Bitcoin bulls are now gnashing their teeth, pointing fingers and saying that Ripple's the enemy when they fought the SEC for years for the entire industry. And if you look at this picture right here, those three colors, green, purple, yellow, green, purple, yellow, with XRP at the center, with the purple flag at the top of the castle, the SEC waving the white flag right here, USD in yellow, Bitcoin in green. So isn't it interesting that in this picture right here with Brad, Stewart, and Trump, he's wearing a purple tie? If you guys know anything about Trump, he's virtually almost always wearing a red tie. So very interesting times are coming this year, to say the least. Now, if you guys are wondering, what am I even talking about? Why am I showing cartoons now when I was just talking about all the other factual stuff that's taking place? Why would I be bringing up something that's a conspiracy theory? Well, I encourage you to watch my other video that I made 12 days ago talking about the Simpsons, Ripple, XRP, Donald Trump, the Matrix, and everything in between. You can just type in the name of this title right here. It'll pop up on YouTube. But in the meantime, if you want to know what's coming next for the crypto market and how to properly position yourself so you can make the most amount of money possible in new emerging trends and projects, listen to this. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree, if that's a goal of yours. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.